How are you? We ask that question of one another often. But how are we doing? As a country, a society? To answer that question, Bhutan uses Gross National Happiness Index, which we call the GNH Index. Bhutan belongs to a stream of civilization where the purpose of the government is to create happiness among its citizens. The founder of Bhutan, Shabdung Ngawang Namgyal, taught that government, compassion, and spirituality could not be separated. Bhutan's legal code of 1729 states that the government purpose is to create happiness and peace for its people. The idea of gross national happiness, or GNH as we call it, took modern shape in the 1970s under His Majesty the Fourth King. His dictum that became a catchphrase was, GNH is more important than GDP. During the Fourth King's reign, GNH was advanced by people who had intuitively internalized it in their own values and etiquette and acted to reduce suffering and nurture the citizens. In recent times, GNH has emerged as a development philosophy that shapes government plans, policies, and programs. A keystone of Bhutan's governance is the GNH Index. The GNH Index measures progress in a holistic way that balances economic, political, social, spiritual, and environmental gains. It looks at each person's GNH one by one using key indicators of well-being that are grouped under 9 domains. The 9 domains of GNH are psychological well-being, health, time use and balance, education, cultural diversity and resilience, good governance, community vitality, ecological diversity and resilience, and living standard. To create an index of GNH requires information on different people and how they are doing in different domains of life. We need to open a door into people's life in all districts of Bhutan to engage men and women, old and young, rich and poor, from different cultural, religious, and occupational groups. So in 2015, as in 2010, the Center for Bhutan Studies, under the leadership of Dasho Karma Ura, collected the required information using the GNH survey. The 2015 GNH survey contained 148 questions relating to the 9 domains. On an average, an interview took about an hour and a half. To carry out the survey, 66 university graduates were recruited as enumerators. The enumerators had 2 weeks of field training where they learned the content and etiquette of interviewing fellow Bhutanese about GNH in different languages and contexts. Between January and May 2015, under the supervision of CBS, 6 teams of enumerators traveled all over the country. They visited the homes of 8,871 Bhutanese people living in all 20 districts of Bhutan. This was a strenuous exercise. 81% of the desired respondents were home at the time and agreed to participate in the survey. So Bhutan's 2015 GNH survey covers 7,153 people aged 15 to 96. The interviews were conducted in numerous dialects in rural and urban areas of all districts. The people interviewed include those with no formal schooling and those with postgraduate degrees, from students to farmers to housewives to traders to corporate workers to government employees. The GNH survey is meant to create a microcosm of the country from which the experiences of all glisten in their diversity. While previous GNH surveys had only used paper-based questionnaires, in 2015, 1/3 of the surveys were entered into handheld computers and uploaded to a central server directly from the field in the evenings. What did they find? Let's visit some of the respondents and hear their reflections. We'll start by listening to the observations about psychological well-being in general and spirituality in particular. This woman rated her own happiness as 10. When asked why, she explained that it was because there was no sickness. Also, she felt grateful, saying that it's because of the kings and governments that there is peace in the country and there is no sickness. When this woman gets the time to recite prayers, she says she feels at peace and she feels that prayer keeps her away from sickness. This woman said that she considers herself to be spiritual because she does not rear chicken or other livestock because she thinks it's sinful. She says she has faith in Buddhism because that is all she can carry when she dies, not material wealth. She said that she does not harm any others, nor intend anything bad to others. And even if she cannot go to temples to do physical prostrations, she tries to be good at heart. That's why she said she's spiritual. The GNH survey covered also standard domains like health, education, living standard. Here, we listened carefully to people's responses on these domains. They described how each activity was meaningful to them. For example, this farmer explained that her work is to work in the field, but she also added that she enjoys working and she is satisfied with what she does. Others mentioned the joy of harvesting potatoes or being with their herds. People really pondered the deeper layers of meaning even in the economic activities. Naturally, we were curious about how respondents themselves viewed the 9 domains of GNH. For example, this man said that if you have strong preservation of culture and tradition, then even to outsiders it is better for Bhutan. What was fascinating about the GNH survey is that respondents were much more articulate about their views of government performance than in 2010. Fully 20% of Bhutanese celebrated the fact that government services had improved strongly. Despite this great success, others were critical of government performance. Maybe that is because the honeymoon of the democratic transition is over and people are now practicing public debate. For example, this respondent worried about inequality, saying, "Regarding the poor and the rich, I think government don't think about it too much." Another citizen talked about the need for the government to fight corruption and to create jobs. She explained that the strong or rich people's children are getting employment, but poor families or people who come from poor families are not. People also reflect on their own community. This woman explained that her community had very strong relationships and that neighbors really helped each other. She said that whenever she's facing difficult times, especially in sickness, her neighbors always come. Even when she is in need of some labor, they come and help. Bhutan has had very proactive policies to steward its forest and natural beauty, and the GNH respondents in 2015 also took time to explain their own part in environmental stewardship. For example, this respondent says that she disposes of her waste properly and she never cuts down trees unless it is done in a sustainable manner. Another explained that if she doesn't take care of the environment, like if all the trees were cut down, their water sources would dry up and it would harm the community. Despite this wealth of wisdom and insights that the 2015 GNH survey respondents provided, the field teams observed that there is still need to share the vision of GNH more widely and simply across society. Many respondents were not very certain of what GNH was. For example, this respondent had heard about GNH when she was a student, but never really understood what it was. She explained that GNH is mainly about happiness and well-being, about being happy among the family and having enough to eat. A graduate of 8th grade learned something about it at school. GNH is gross national happiness, and its 4 pillars: good governance, conservation of culture, conservation of nature, but couldn't quite remember the 4th dimension. Another one explained that in GNH, natural conservation is one of the pillars and culture is another one. She felt that she understood these 2 pillars a bit but didn't really know much about GNH other than this. But a few respondents really did have a good grasp of GNH, showing that it may be reaching the younger generation. Let's listen to one of them.
For me, GNH is everything like respecting old and keeping campus clean is all under GNH. Like example, like helping each other also come in GNH. Then in school we learn a lot about GNH. It's related to all GNH. We have a club like GNH club. In village we also like do like GNH because in village we mostly do related to GNH because all cooperation work should be under GNH, because every time we do work, GNH should be there.
The GNH survey is finished and the data have been cleaned, and the GNH index has been constructed and compared with the findings in 2010. But before leaving the survey, it would not be a complete story if we did not share with you some of the human angle. What was it like for 66 enumerators plus CBS staff to caper across the country, sharing rooms and tents and walking long distances and listening and listening and listening day after day to the experiences of people they had mostly never met before? Let's close by listening to some of their reflections.
My memory will be I got opportunity to visit Alaya, which is the focal place for Bhutanese people. I'm very happy that I got opportunity to go there, got chance to know the customs and the dresses, the language. Although I have visited other places of Bhutan during my past experience, but this was my most memorable and exciting, and I'm very happy that I got chance to visit there. And even though I'm Bhutanese, I haven't visited there because this is the place where most of the tourists they wanted to know, and this is the unique place of Bhutan.
I met with a 26-year-old woman, and she was a woman with a full dedication to her village, and she was very happy, and she even knew the core values of her village and the culture and traditions they hold till now. And she's from Laya, and that's why she left her job and she's with her parents. And now she really came to know about her culture, and she really came to know how to appreciate her culture and traditions. And she's still saying that she's really happy, and she regrets a lot by leaving her village and going to Thimphu.
The most interesting interview was when I interviewed an old woman from Tishkang. She had a grandson, 4 years old, and the grandson, we took up very much attached to each other. The grandson didn't let me go.
Right.
The one which I will always remember is the time when we were in Tashkent. Three of us been interviewed on an old lady, 94 years old. That lady sang 3 songs for us, and we had that interview would be great.
Even though we are relatives or same bloodline, we don't know more than our family relationship. But when we do interview, when we get chance to encounter to interview with the questionnaires, we feel that I got to know that he is much more intelligent than me, even though he's staying in village and I'm educated. But when we do interview, it's quite happy that he's much better than me. He's earning much better than me, and he's has more knowledge than me. And that was our memorable part. That I was memorable and happy that my cousin was doing better than me.
I have to do 3 responded in a day, no lunch, very tiring. I did 1 respondent, 1 grandmother, and I went to his grandmother was the grandfather was very what to say now. She thought that I came to collect the electricity bill, madam.
Oh, no.
She told that he is not. I told his name. Is he you? He told no. You can go to that house. Maybe she's afraid that because he is very poor, madam.
Yeah.
No household, nothing, income, nothing, madam. Selling little vegetable and they are earning from it and they are eating. No household item. We have equipment to be returned, no, madam. No item to return. So I kept it blank.
Yeah.
I visited inside the house, look for the equipment, but there's nothing.
I met a respondent in Himchi. She was 85, I think, around 85, and she was living with her brother, and she was under care of Tarayana, I think, and her sister was having a breast cancer, and she was suffering a lot, and at that time I could not hold a tear also. And there was my saddest part. And
The most, I think, happy person I met was a man, old man. He was in Kashigang. He was living alone by himself, but he had 4 sons and daughters. So they sent him money and something. But he said he he liked living there, taking care of his herd and his house. Still, he was happy. I think he was peaceful. And
the most funniest and that thing was again the day eventually are with same place just below. When there, I was doing interview with this my respondent. This monkeys attacking her crops like anything. So I have to help her chasing the monkeys. I have to do interviews and again at the same time I also have to chase the monkeys.
So this is the story of the GNH survey. Everything from long hikes and tired muscles, to tears and pain, to festivals and learning more about Bhutan, to children who will not let you go or monkeys that must be chased away. While there's much more to be said, let me close with few words on the findings that has emerged from the survey. Between 2010 and 2015, GNH increased nationally with strong gains in living standards, services, and health in particular. But at the same time, there were significant and worrying decreases in some indicators like community life and psychological well being. Thus, the 2015 GNH index shows Bhutan at a crossroads of identity in a period in which there were fundamental changes in the balance between different ingredients of GNH. We hope that citizens and youth, as well as leaders of Bhutan, will engage with this report, reflect deeply upon the patterns it shows, and so work to shape a balance of activities that will indeed value in the years to come.